who's been in the center of a lot of action and implementation, Mr. Amitabh Kant, CEO of NITI Aayog. Mr. Kant, may I kindly invite you on stage? We have four people who've been running the city in different forms here. Mr. Rajeev, Metropolitan Commissioner, MMRDA, and Mr. Ajoy Mehta, Commissioner, MCGM. May I request you all to be here, please? Mr. Sanjay Reddy, Vice Chairman, GVK, and Mr.S.N.Subhrahmanyan of Larsen Toubro, please. This will be an interactive session looking at, can we, through each of these sessions, look at 3 actionable points, and we have the man right in front of us who could say, yes, let's make it happen. After the 50 minutes of interaction, there would be an opportunity for people to ask questions as well. Thank you. Mr. Kant, please.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. We have a very distinguished panel. They need no introduction. So world over, cities are centers of growth, they're centers of creativity, they're centers of dynamism. And actually cities world across occupy just 3% of the earth landmass. But they account for about 82% of the global GDP. So cities account for 82% of the global GDP, but they also account for about 75% of the CO2 emission. When Europe and America urbanized, they did a lot of sprawling urbanization. So they created cities like Atlanta where 99% of the people travel by cars. So American cities were made for cars and not for people. When today the process of urbanization has ended across America, it's ended across Europe, it's nearing completion in China. But in India, that process has just begun. And the challenge for us is, how do we do innovative, sustainable urbanization? And I think the key to India's growth story really, and if India is to grow at high rates of 9 to 10% for the next 3 decades, the city of Mumbai really truly holds the key to that. And if Mumbai city and Maharashtra, and the key driver of that growth has to be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, who's sitting here. So if Mumbai really grows at high rates, India grows. And therefore, the 4 key participants really hold the key to India's growth story. So let me first start with someone who's driving one of the richest corporations of India, and his budget actually is more than the budget of many, many countries of the world, Ajoy Mehta. So, and my view is that as far as Mumbai is concerned, incrementalism will not do. Merely tinkering will not do. So tell us, Ajay, what are the 5 revolutionary things that you're doing for Mumbai?
Very well said, sir. We are sitting on a big pile of money, true. And our budget is big. It's 27,000 crores per year. And we sit on 70,000 crores worth of deposits. Done. Big 5. The first big crisis that we have is housing. 1 million houses by 2034. You need to change the land use pattern. You need to take the big decisions to change land use pattern so that you get 1 million affordable houses by 2034. That's the big thing. Second big crisis, which is, looking at it in our face, is going to be employment. You need to generate employment. We've looked at the demographic patterns. We need 8 million jobs by 2034. And 8 million jobs, Class C jobs in areas like service industries, not digging pits anymore. And if you're going to do that, you need office space. And we are looking at something like 10,000 hectares of built-up office space. And this is the first time we've taken a decision to allow an FSI of 5 for commercial areas so that office space becomes available. It's there for people to look at, to bring down office space cost. Third, the next big problem that we face is garbage. We need to deal with it. Till now, we've been just dumping it. We've now started off with waste to energy. We've started off processing garbage and ensuring that all debris that come in are processed into building material. The fourth big issue is going to be the sewage. We are dumping 2,700 million liters of dirty water into the sea every day, and that's huge. Putting up 6 STPs to process that water, bring that water back and use it for non-potable uses. And the last, and again the most important thing that we are looking at is transport. Because people are now dispersing, they're not more into the city, in the center of the city. So that big thing is transport. So we're looking at coastal highway, we are facilitating, while metro is being done by MMRDA, but we are facilitating the metro, ensuring that ease of transport is available to a business city, to a city which has quality of life.
Okay. Thanks, Ajoy. Thanks for that. You very succinctly put it that transportation, waste, water really hold the key to the future, and you have your plans for that. Rajeev, I want to return to you because MMRDA is again critical to the growth of the entire region. And planning, to my mind, really holds the key, and planning in a very integrated manner, planning which will enable good transportation to be inbuilt into the planning process. And I think critically, what are the new growth centers you're looking at? And how will you drive innovation? How will you drive new startups? How will you make Mumbai the new center of creativity and growth through your planning process?
Well said, sir. We are at present planning and executing 275 kilometers of networks of metro line in MMR, which does not only include Mumbai city, but across the region. We are going to Thane, to Bhiwandi, to Kalyan, to Taloja in Navi Mumbai. And number 2, we are constructing this MTHL, Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, which is going to be the longest sea bridge in Mumbai, in India, which is 22 kilometers long. So that will connect to Navi Mumbai airport. And South Mumbai and Mumbai people will be reaching there, say, in half an hour or so time. So this, all these areas, and recently we have taken, the authority has taken a decision under the chairmanship of Honorable Chief Minister to increase the regional area of Metropolitan Mumbai. So that increases the area of MMR by 2,000 square kilometers and adds 3 more growth centers planned in this area.
So 2,000 square kilometers additional and 3 new growth centers.
3 new growth centers. Okay. So these 3 new growth centers are going to be two growth centers will be on the new bullet train line, which is going to be from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, and that had made it imperative to plan and increase the MMR because Virar and Boisar, these are the 2 stations which are coming up beyond Thane and Mumbai, and Boisar, which will be the last station in Maharashtra of bullet train, you will be able to reach in 15 minutes by bullet train. So if that is so, if you do not plan and give a regional planning directions to that area, it will develop in a very, very haphazard way. So we have taken Boisar as a new growth center planning, and that way Virar also. And the third one, which is being connected by MTHL, and there Pain Taluka we have taken from Alibag in our area, and where we'll have another growth centers. So these growth centers, at the same time, we have also planned a 126 kilometer long, 90 meter wide right of way multimodal corridor from Panvel to Virar. So this highway also will be connecting 4 national highways and the Mumbai-Pune Express Highway. So that way, along this corridor also, few more growth centers can be planned, and we are looking at that also. So these growth centers will increase employment opportunities there, will not allow people to only come to Mumbai for employment opportunities, and these growth centers will certainly decongest Mumbai. At the same time, with our connectivity, metro networks will have a balanced regional development in this area.
Wonderful. So I hope you're laying a lot of stress on good public transportation in these areas, because to my mind, urbanization on the back of public transportation truly holds the key to good growth.
So certainly, that is going to make this not only Mumbai but those whole MMR very, very livable city. And because at present, if you see 80 lakh people every day travel by suburban local trains. and that too with a density of 12 people per square meter, whereas the world ideal average is 6 people per square meter of area. So at present, the travel experience is horrible, so, to say the least. It's horrible. But if we come up with this 275 kilometer of long metro network, and in addition to that, the CIDCO metro lines also, if we connect, then around 50 to 60 lakh people will be facilitating to travel minimum by the metro lines. So 50, 60 lakhs, certainly some of the suburban train travelers will move to metro travel, but at the same time, there will be a lot of car travelers who will leave their cars and move to this. I would like to add here, sir, that by creating this metro network, your last mile connectivity, which is the average travel of last mile, will reduce to 1.5 kilometer only. And that way, metro is almost reaching your doorsteps. Metro stations are almost reaching your doorsteps to travel. Yes, with that, the biggest challenge with us will be to create the last mile connectivity. And we are looking at that.
Electric buses?
Electric buses, the non-motorable transport systems like cycles. So we have to create cycle stands, cycle pathway that way, and more to it, like electric rickshaws also, which have come up, smaller rickshaws, then which will replace the auto system, which is
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to later open it up for question answers. So be ready. You can grill both the municipal commissioner and the MMRDA chief as we go along. But SN, you know, L&T is doing about 65,000 crores worth of projects in this region. That's our calculation. And many of the projects which they've talked about, Metro 3, Trans-Harbour Link, you hold the key. What are the challenges and what are your timelines? When are you delivering these projects to the people of Mumbai?
Thanks, Amitabh. First of all, I don't know where you got the figure from, but if that figure was really true, our share price would have doubled by now. But anyway, having said that, it sort of tells you the magnitude of work that under the Honorable Chief Minister that started in Mumbai. From the bottom of the heart, I think I need to appreciate him and his administration for having kicked off of so many things which probably should have done 25 years back. A few weeks back, there was an interesting discussion on Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link, and somebody said first time the project was thought about, conceived, or maybe originated was in the 1970s, sometime around the time when some of us were born. And finally, it's seeing the light of the day in 2017, 2018. So that's one of the largest projects going on, and if that gets connected, I think it opens another trunk route to the mainland of India and from the Mumbai island. And thereby what it does is creates a separate corridor for a new city to come up on that part of the world. And when GVK Sanjay puts up the airport, I think one makes the time to go to the airport much shorter. And the normal sense is if 1 million passengers come in an airport, it creates 10,000 jobs. And this airport will surely have 20, 30 million people, and therefore you will see what kind of equilibrium it's going to create there, the dynamics that's going to have for employment and people to stay and live in that part of the world. The coastal road is another fantastic project, long required by Bombay, and that has started now. That's sort of going to take the traffic off the existing road system in Bombay to the coastal side. And that's another 3.5 years work. Both the commissioners and MMRDA chief are sitting out here. I hope my time is not taken for the record, but from that point of view, excuse me, but I think these are fast-track projects which should get done. The Mumbai Metro is again a very long required project, right from Colaba to CPES and all the other lines that you thought, some of it tendered, some of it under tendering. Now this will dynamically change the way people live, originate and walk through Mumbai. One of the reasons why people want to stay in Mumbai is the cost of time. 2 hours, 2.5 hours to work and back is 4 hours in a day, kills you, and you don't feel like working after that. And thereby, if commuting can be made from the outskirts to the inside, I think people can stay outside. Cost of living would get cheaper, cost of housing would get cheaper. They can commute, go back in 25, 30 minutes. That makes life totally different. But in all this, there are 3-4 matters that are very important. All this requires the huge transportation system within Bombay, the water supply into Bombay, the waste into Bombay, and how people lead their lives within Bombay, maybe more open spaces, green spaces, etc. The Surya water scheme is a fantastic scheme which is going on that solves partially to a certain extent the water problem of Bombay, but we require desalination. I think somewhere in our overall scheme of things, desalination has been forgotten. Climate is changing. It's not raining as it used to. So the states below the Vindhyas, where it's not dependent on the snow of the Himalayas, but depends on monsoon, unless and until we create alternative sources of water, which can only be desalination, life is going to be difficult in the future with the population. Another invention that can be thought of, which I would suggest to the Chief Minister, is that in Singapore, if you go to see, under many of the trunk roads, instead of wasting the space, there huge water tanks have been created, because they are heavily dependent on Malaysia for water, beyond the rains and little lake there. So this is another idea that can be thought of, that under main highways under Bombay, huge tanks can be created which can store cubics of water, and that can be used in emergency and other times, because water is one ingredient which is very important. Last but not the least, you asked me the question of timelines and how to complete projects. I think one key thing is absolutely required is, you can take it as an advice, you can take it as an experience that one has gone through in life. I think the terms of the key administrators have to be made long-term, 5 years for sure, because the ownership comes on the government side also, rather than looking at it as purely transactional. Number two is that I think when you choose contractors, instead of simply relying on the L1 system, which has become ubiquitous in the bureaucracy right now, I think somewhere along the line we have to get into the QCBS system. Some amount of merit has to be given to earlier completion, quality, kind of projects done, etc., beyond the price. Some weightage has to be given to that. And number three is that I think somewhere the dispute resolution mechanism has to be made time bound. You have today a dispute resolution, you have then an arbitration, then you challenge it to the lowest course. Some of the arbitration awards today were what my 3-generation predecessors did, and after 17 years I got judgment. Of course I show some extra profit and they showed some loss. I don't mind that, but I think the future generation should not go through that and should get the award immediately. So if these are done, I think it makes a long way to improve things. Thanks.
So I think you made this very important point about desalination, because the cost of desalination has fallen very rapidly. And once you link it up with solar energy, you are able to do desalination of water at cheap rates. We've done some work on this, and I think that's increasingly now becoming a viable commercial proposition for countries. But the calculation of 65,000 crores was based on the fact that L&T is actually driving almost all the major projects in Mumbai. Mumbai Metro Line 3, Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, Coastal Road along the western coast of Maharashtra, the 24/7 water supply project by MMRDA, affordable housing, BBD, Chawl redevelopment, all these. And when you combine all this, do a complete calculation, your share prices, because of your work in Maharashtra, will go up quite substantially. So you owe a lot to Maharashtra, and kindly deliver all the projects on time. No time and cost overrun. Please ensure that. Okay. So Sanjay, let me turn to you, because you will be a very, very major factor. 20%, almost 20 to 21% of the tourist arrivals into India come to Mumbai. They come into Mumbai and then they travel all over. So if India has to drive its travel tourism, if it has to become a great financial center, if it has to become a commercial hub, the new airport really holds the key. Where are we with the new airport? And eventually, how will you make it one of the greatest airports in the world?
So I think I'd like to talk about three things as far as the new airport is concerned. One is speed, second capacity, third is experience. I think this plan, as SNS was saying, that this project also was planned in the late 1970s and early 80s. And only in the last 3 years, we've really seen it take off, because there were so many challenges which looked insurmountable, where I think literally the CM had to go to war to get these resolved. And it's come to a stage where now its work is on the ground. So just in that sense, in terms of speed, the CM personally monitors this very regularly. And I think the biggest challenge has been the land, where there's actually 2 rivers flowing through the land. There's actually huge mountains in the middle of the land. There's backwaters. There is, mangroves. There are villages. There are all kinds of things there. And it was a very, very complex. And it had to be raised by nearly 8 meters on average the level of the soil and the site. And I think under the leadership of the CM and the entire SIDCO team, they've done an amazing job in the last 12 months to really get that to a great momentum. I think we've seen a video of also, we have more than thousands of trucks running 24/7 doing all this work, and that work is going to complete very soon when actually the construction of the project will start. We are going to put in all efforts to see that the project is finished as soon as possible, because the biggest challenge for Mumbai city, as you correctly pointed out, is the current airport is at its capacity. This year we'll be doing about 52 million passengers. We can slowly grow to about maybe 60. But the rest of India is growing at about 18 to 20% annually, whereas we are only growing at about 6%, 8%, not because of lack of need, but because of lack of capacity. So I think the speed is very critical, and I think with the help of the CM personally, I think, this project, he also recognizes that this is going to be the key driver of GDP and growth for the city. So that is one thing which we're doing. The second thing is capacity. Because I think the biggest problem long term in India, with the kind of population we have and the growth that we see in aviation, is going to be the lack of land for airports. I mean, every city in India is going to be at capacity, is already at capacity, or will be at capacity in all its airports in the next 2 to 3 years, except places which are some of the new airports which have been identified. As a matter of fact, by the time Navi Mumbai goes into operation, this may be the only city which has a clear capacity growth for nearly 20 years, whereas every other city will be at its, capacity. So we've put in a lot of effort after we won this project. While this project originally was planned for 60 million passengers, we are trying to squeeze out every single efficiency to see that we can maximize the capacity to close to 100 million. It is no easy task, but we are making sure that, that it gives you at least another 7 to 10 years of growth that is required, because this city will need another 20, 30 years and need another third airport, unless of course drones take over the entire aviation business. The third aspect is experience. I think rightfully what you pointed out is the city is the face of the airport is the face of the city and also the country. So it's extremely important. We've put in a lot of effort in the current airport to see that the experience is very good. So we've created a problem for ourselves, because people's expectation in Navi Mumbai is much higher now, and they want something very different. So the existing airport is more designed, and the experience is more on the past, based on India's history, culture, art, heritage, etc. Whereas Navi Mumbai, what we are thinking is that it should be designed on the basis of the future. The future is obviously something that we look forward to and we aspire to. So this will be a project which is very aspirational. It will be very experiential, very digital. So it will be certainly something we will aspire to make it another unique landmark in the city of Mumbai. And hopefully, by the time in the next few years, while the rest of all the projects that the CM has planned out for the city with Navi Mumbai Airport, I think Mumbai will be literally a 2.0.
Okay, wonderful. But tell me, would you require some kind of a connectivity between the two airports, the existing one and the new airport? Or?
So it's good you raised that question. As a matter of fact, these two airports, many people assume that when Navi Mumbai Airport comes, the existing airport is going to be shut. That's what many people think. Number one, the existing airport is not going to be shut. Number two, both airports will be operating as independent airports with both international and domestic connectivity, not only within India, but globally. So the examples that I would like to take is Heathrow, Gatwick, or Newark, JFK. Those are the airports that we should look at, because they'll be totally independent. And the way we see it is that the Naina region, which again the CM is planning, and the whole Navi Mumbai will actually become so large that eventually you'll need another airport to cater to it. So therefore, if you see airports, since they're independent, connectivity is really not required, because the number of passengers, once they're all connected to India and global cities, the number of passengers will come to one airport and shift, transfer to another airport is minuscule. I mean, how many times have people gone to Gatwick and then transferred through Heathrow, or vice versa? It's literally on your fingertips. So it's really not required.
So the new airport will be a great international hub. Will it take away business away from airports like Dubai or Singapore into New Mumbai?
We are planning it as a hub, sir, and I think that's something which is very important. I think one thing which we've, as a country, lost out is that we've abdicated many people joke that Dubai is the capital of India from an aviation perspective. And it's unfortunate, and it's been a long period of over 10, 15 years. We've literally abdicated our aviation business to the east and the west of India. And, India doesn't have a single hub. But there's a huge opportunity given the population that there's a scope for a hub. We are planning for a hub, but hubs are not built just based on our thinking. The key element of a hub is the airline. Because unless you have a really global standard, large airline, if you see Dubai is made because of Emirates. Otherwise Dubai airport will be in zero. Same Singapore is because of Singapore Airlines. And London, Heathrow, Gap, British Airways, etc. So that's the challenge we have in India, that if we get one of these airlines,
carriers.
You need one strong carrier, and that will actually become the hub. And they should have the ability to invest and connect to every city in the world. And that is missing in India. And so therefore, while we are designing and creating a hub, design-wise, but whether it will actually happen will depend more on the airline than the airport.
Okay, so wonderful. Since the CM, Honorable CM was also sitting here, because my belief has been that if India is to grow at high rates, Mumbai will have to play a very critical role. And this would really mean converting Mumbai into one of the world's greatest commercial and financial capital. And that's the vision which everyone has about Mumbai. And if you have to convert that, other than the projects which you people are doing, is there anything really dramatic, revolutionary, anything which can have a very significant impact on the growth, the strategy of Mumbai? Any new fresh idea from any one of you? SN, with you? Something which the CM can then take ownership and drive, and which can then become a model for the rest of India and the world?
I think there are two things which are growing in importance as we look at ourselves as a country, both keeping the e-commerce business that is happening as well as the young millenniums who are coming into the picture. I would request the Honorable CM to seriously look at Mumbai outskirts as one of the new cities that's coming up in the Naina area as a logistical hub. This is creating not only office spaces but creating essential infrastructure towards putting up warehouses, storage areas, transportation areas, maybe even a hub for transport planes to land and take off, maybe trains to come and move in, and it could become a logistics area. Many of the e-commerce business in India is multiplying like crazy, and the retail business is finally catching up, and people have stopped getting worried about the mom and pop disappearing. That will exist along with the big retail. This is the right time to give some fillip to it to see how retail, logistics and the e-com can play a part in making Mumbai one of those areas, because Mumbai has got all the essentials for it. Second, sir, the entire political complex which is around South Mumbai, it's a bold decision. Why don't you just shift it to somewhere outside, one of the new cities that you're planning of? I think that will take the entire, draw the decision-making crowd, the business crowd, and to a certain extent the business crowd to that part wherever you take it to, and it will create so much of space here which can be used for housing or tall buildings or whatever it is. These are tough ideas to implement, but if you can do it, I think you've done wonderful for Bombay as it is. You will be your name will be ever ingrained that you've made these bold decisions.
Yeah, Sanjay, I wanted to ask you, in this ideas, to my mind, great cities are made not by just their infrastructure, their hardware, but by the softer element. Culture, art, sports, startups, innovation, all this makes a great city. You've made an airport with great cultural content. I mean, any idea on that? Any of these new areas of growth?
So you've read my mind exactly. That's what I was going to say. I think when the CM came, he saw the city literally not crumbling, crumbled already. And so therefore his focus was, literally go to war and get all these big infrastructure projects off the ground. Some planned 20, 30 years ago, some his own initiative and ideas. And that seems to have been his first focus. And you can see the result of that in a matter of few years. I think what is missing is, as you said, the softer elements. I'm not even talking about softer elements of the city, which fortunately Mumbai has a lot of good aspects to the city and its culture and its people. But the softer elements of just pure infrastructure itself. A lot of money is being put in infrastructure. Like for example, just maintenance of the infrastructure, the greenery of infrastructure, just the curbs being painted, the proper signage, see that nobody, no Jopalpatti comes and sits there. Just keep the pathways clean so people would like to walk. I mean, these are elements which I think in Mumbai, in many areas, some areas are very good. Certainly there are islands of excellence, but there are many areas which need significant improvement. And my thinking there, sir, is that Mumbai has, under your leadership, fantastic government and administration. And on the other side, it has a fantastic, amazing private sector. And all these people are dying to do something. And so please involve them. Like, for example, PPPs have become very, the largest number of PPPs in the world are, delivered in India. But they're all large projects. Why can't we just take, for example, Western Express Highway? Just the maintenance, every company can give a presentation and say that we have this idea, give them a 10 or 20-year contract to maintain Western Express Highway, and they should completely make it of gardens and, cleanliness and painted and maintained. And it's not, whatever you're spending in any case.
Just spruce up the city to
Just spruce up the city, because I think, physical infrastructure, people, it's not what people see, because what people really see is the softer elements of infrastructure. And when a person lands in Mumbai, I think, what they need to see is that the city is, just absolutely clean and buzzing and things like that. It's not easy in India because of historical reasons. But I'm just saying that if maybe possibly at least start off with the main arterial roads and just give it, I'm sure all the companies who are sitting here today, and then some people can do it, you can bid it out and say that, how much will you charge for the next 20 years, 10 years, and they do everything, potholes, everything, maintenance, 100%. And there people may bid and make some profit, or there are companies who think they want to give back. They may actually take a loss because they want their brand name that they're giving back to the city. So I think that is something which actually Mumbai needs.
So Ajoy, he wants to drive you out of business.
He will still be planning all the major projects.
Okay, Rajiv.
In fact, I'm very happy that you have raised this issue. Let's be very clear about it, that 51% of all the passenger trips in a day which happens on the road by pedestrians in this city. And that is the DP of Mumbai says so. I'm quoting from that there. So it's really very, very important to spruce up the city, to spruce up the footpaths, to make the pedestrian movement seamless. And I'm glad to say that whatever Sanjay has said, Sanjay was giving a clarion call to us, but today I am giving clarion call to you, because today's Times of India, if you open up, you will see an advertisement published by MMRDA calling for expression of interest from corporate sector to spruce up Mumbai.
Wonderful.
To green Mumbai, to green the islands, to green everything. So please come up, all the corporate sector who are here. You read that expression of interest today, and please apply to MMRDA.
So you were well ahead of what Sanjay had thought of.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I would request, if with that's fantastic, it's amazing and timely. I would request the Honorable CM to call all the corporates in Mumbai and say that this is your responsibility, and say that you have to participate, and say that, otherwise, what will happen is people, they may not even see this, that's the thing. So I think with your one word, sir, it will make a huge difference. And it will make a...
It's very, very, very true. But at the same time, there is one more advertisement in Times of India today. We are taking up the planning and designing of Western Express Highway, which makes it completely access controlled, signal free, and how to do that. So we have invited experts, worldwide experts. It's a global expression of interest, where we want to design it in a way where you do not have any signal on Western Express Highway. So these are the two expression of interest we have come up with today.
Wonderful.
And I'll be glad if people come forward for that.
Great.
Thank you.
So great ideas and great new thoughts, and all getting into execution. Ajay, anything dramatic, anything revolutionary, anything which can really change?
One more big thing, sir. The first idea which said anything more dramatic. See, there's a softer aspect of Mumbai which we don't look at. It's a huge soft aspect, and historically we carry a very good legacy on that. You see Marathi theatre, it's been the richest theatre.
Yeah.
And from there you had the Hindi theatre coming up in Mumbai, you have now the Gujarati theatre, and now English theatre is coming into Mumbai in a big way. Look at Bollywood. Bollywood has not just been movies, it's been the music, the recording of music. You have had some of the best singers here. Look at art. The kind of art that Mumbai has spawned is amazing. And therefore we decided that can we also not look at this softer aspect of Mumbai? And there's, most of the big cities are now looking at art, culture, drama, theaters also as a business. A lot of people would just go to New York just to see one of those, the operas there. Can we not do that? And I must mention that CM has taken the first step, and we formed an urban art commission in Mumbai. And this urban art commission is not a legal framework which says, oh, you shall do this with my permission and you shall not do that till I give you permission. It's outside the legal thing. We've taken 8, 9 top people in art, and art is not just painting, it's music, it's film industry, and said, let's now get the people out to perform on crossings, on various chalks. If you have a good painting, you're not known as a painter, can you not put it up there? We'll let you put it up there. You can put a good sculpture there. So let's try and see if we can get Mumbai a vibrant cultural city where people participate and you come to Mumbai just to see the culture of Mumbai. So that's another big idea that we have now started pushing, and this Urban Art Commission has taken off, and we're slowly building on.
No, it's a great idea, because I've traveled all over, and let me tell you, in terms of sheer art, culture, Mumbai is one of the richest content. No other country in the world has this, which Mumbai has. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to open this